sense about solo traveling, I'm here to tell you that that urge, that desire, that curious feeling that you're feeling is something you totally need to follow. Now, if you watch my last video on solo traveling, you'll know that I was pushed into solo traveling because I didn't have anyone that wanted to go where I wanted to go and spend the money that I needed to spend to make my dreams come true. I mean, my first solo trip was to Sri Lanka for a month. While Sri Lanka is popular now, back when I went in 2011, nobody was going to Sri Lanka. And by the way, my thumbnail is actually of me in Sri Lanka when I was invited to a wedding by my host family. So believe me when I say, I know that you're terrified of solo traveling. I was terrified too, but I faced my fears, I saved my money, and I hopped on a plane to Sri Lanka. And that trip totally changed my life because it opened my world up, not just for traveling, but just to doing a ton of things solo. I went to a ton of countries solo. I lived and worked abroad solo. I volunteered abroad solo. So guys, there are a ton of rewards to solo traveling. I'm gonna list 10 in this video. So if you're super duper nervous about solo traveling, I know these tips are gonna help you go forth and take your first solo trip. The number one benefit to solo traveling is that it is super duper empowering. It's definitely a confidence booster to know that you handled being in a country all alone. You planned for that trip, you prepared for it, you did all the organizational tasks for that trip, from calling the credit card company and letting them know you'll be abroad, to learning some of the language, to creating a budget. You did it all by yourself. And while I'm sure you're watching this video and being like, whatever, trust me, there is just some gold in traveling solo and how you feel about yourself after you finished that trip. You will definitely feel empowered and have the confidence to do many things that you were afraid of doing. The next reward of solo traveling is that confidence that you gain from doing things alone will spill over to other areas of your life. So you won't have a problem with going to the movies alone, going to a concert alone, going out to eat at restaurants alone. Because of the relationship you build with yourself when solo traveling, because you're gonna have to build a relationship with yourself because you're doing it all alone. Because of that relationship you've built, you will have no issues doing a ton of things alone when you get back to your country. And guess what? You might just feel like you even want to do a lot more things alone because you see the benefits of doing things alone. The next reason why you should solo travel is that you get to make all the decisions on the things you will be doing when traveling. You want to go to the museum, go to a museum. You don't want to go to a museum, I don't really like museums, don't go to the museums. You want to lay on the beach all day, lay on the beach all day. Whatever it is you want to spend your time doing, there was no one there to tell you, no, let's not do that. That's a waste of time. Let's do this instead. There's no negotiating. You get to do what you want to do. And to continue with that, the next benefit is that you get to spend as much time doing what you want to do. If you want to spend 1 hour at the museum instead of 4 hours, I know when I go to museums, my sister, she likes to walk around and see everything and just take a long time when I just want to walk around, see it, and leave. You get to spend as much time doing what it is that you want to do, which I find to be like the best bonus of solo traveling. When I'm ready to go, I go. The next benefit to solo traveling is that a whole new world is opened up to you. When you realize that you're able to do things on your own, you will start having a lot of other goals and dreams and desires because now you see that there's nothing stopping you. Whatever you want to do, you can just do it on your own. It doesn't matter if someone's coming with you or not. You don't need anyone to be interested in what you want to do. You don't need anyone to make time. There are no barriers, and this just opens up a whole new world for you. The next benefit to solo traveling is that you get to see a part of yourself that you've never seen before. You get to fully see who you are in different situations. You get to see who you are when you're in a foreign country ordering food off a menu you can't even read, when you're trying to navigate back to your Airbnb all by yourself and everything is in a different language. You get to see who you are when you're feeling lonely, but there's no one there, you're all by yourself. Solo travel will just show you a whole different part of yourself that you've never seen before, and it's super, super cool. The next benefit of solo traveling is that you get to meet new people. I know you know what it's like when you go on vacation with whoever, when you're on vacation with other people and you guys kind of like stay in a group and you do your own thing together and you're having a great time, of course. But what's awesome about solo traveling is that you're in a situation where it's easy to connect with people, to meet new people, because people are more open to approaching you, and vice versa. You're more open to approaching people when you see someone by themselves. I know I'm not the only one that's nervous about approaching a group of people and less nervous about approaching like a solo traveler. And what's also fun is that when you're solo traveling, you make these one-day temporary friends. Say you meet someone at the hostel or at a bar or wherever, and you have a chat, and then you realize you're going to the same site the next day. You can go to that site together and have a friend for a day. It's super fun. And you can even meet people and stay connected with them for years. I'm still connected with people I've met years ago. So it's definitely a fun thing to make friends, and it's definitely easier to make friends when you're solo traveling, and I see that as a big bonus. The next benefit of solo traveling is that you get to have a full connected experience. I noticed that when I'm solo traveling versus when I'm traveling with other people, there tends to be a lot of distractions when I'm with other people. It's not a terrible thing. This is not something negative, but when I'm solo traveling, I'm more engaged with whatever activity I'm doing. I get more lost in wherever I am, which is a good thing. I mean, lost in a good way. Versus when I'm with other people, we might be laughing about something. We might be talking about what we're gonna do next, what we're gonna eat next. It's just like a mini little distraction, which again is not negative, but it is a mini distraction from what's like going on in the place that you're visiting and why you even travel to that place anyway. So whether you wanna be at a museum and stare at an art piece for like 2 hours, like figuring out what it's about, or hiking and just getting lost in like nature, it's much easier to do that when you're by yourself. The next benefit of solo traveling, and this might sound a bit silly, I know, but it's like you have a lot of space to yourself. I'm talking about physical space, like the bathroom is all yours. You don't have to worry about someone dirtying the bathroom. The TV is all yours. I know I'm not the only one that appreciates my personal space. And when you're solo traveling, it's all yours. Okay guys, the next benefit of solo traveling is that you get to go like off the beaten path. You get to travel at a faster pace and just go to places that are just easier to go solo. So while I'm with like a big group, like I'm planning a family trip this summer, I'm not planning on going to like a lot of the places I like to go to, like smaller villages, smaller towns. It's just harder to do those things and travel faster and cheaper with bigger groups of people. So when I'm traveling with like bigger groups of people, like again, my family this summer, I'm planning on going to like bigger cities and just doing like the touristy thing. But when I'm traveling by myself, it's just easier to visit these smaller places, these towns and cities that are just off the tourist track. So just keep that in mind. So guys, I really do hope this video pushed you to take that first solo trip. There's just so many benefits of solo traveling. And I know that when you take your first solo trip, you'll see what I'm talking about. And there's gonna be so many more benefits that I haven't even mentioned in this video. Now make sure you watch this video here, giving you honest advice on how you can go about taking that first solo trip, the steps you need to take to start solo traveling. Make sure you like this video and hit the subscription button if you made it this far, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.